All right, guys. So on August the 16th, Sam Asghari, who is Britney Spears' soon-to-be ex-husband, filed for divorce in Los Angeles. Now, he said they broke up on July the 28th, and he said it was over irreconcilable differences. Okay? So, a couple of you over the weekend hit me up and asked me what really went on with this couple, because this relationship always seemed kind of strange to a lot of people. So today we're going to take a look at the cards for Britney and Sam and figure out what exactly happened. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody else who might want the tea on this ex-couple, okay? If you want to get a reading done, please hit me up. All my information is underneath this video. Please become a patron on Patreon or subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, let's take a look. So the first pile here is all Britney. So her card is in the reverse. It's the Ace of Swords reversed. I am going to turn it into the upright as I always do, so you guys can see the artwork. His card is the Page of Wands reversed. I'm going to turn that one over too, so you can see the artwork. And this is the outcome. All right, guys. So number one, Britney has the Ace of Swords in the reverse. This indicates cloudy thinking, negative thinking. It can be a lot of confused thinking, as we're getting ready to see later as well. So Britney's in this kind of strange space because I feel like, based on the cards, she knew they were having problems, but she just didn't know that Sam was going to file for divorce. To me, that must have been kind of like a what do they call that one? A sneak attack. It's like a devastating blow. It's like she didn't see that one coming. She knew they were having problems because obviously this has been going on for a while, but she just didn't think he would throw in the towel, and Sam threw in the towel because Sam is the one that filed for divorce. And as a lot of you know, it's very unusual for a man to file for divorce. Usually it's a woman. Sam got the Page of Wands reversed. Sam was fed up. He was fed up, okay? Also, Sam's a little immature because for a grown man to get a page and reversed at that, that's indicating to us a little bit of immaturity. And just like getting tired of it. He just got tired of it. That's really what this is. An older man probably could have paced himself a little bit better. Who knows? But the bottom line is that Sam got impatient. Sam got tired of what was going on in the relationship. And we're about to see a lot of what was going on later. All right. So let's look at their clarity cards as well. I don't know how Britney did this, but some kind of way she is going to hang on to the majority of her fortune. That was one of the things I was very concerned about, was did she have a good prenup and would she lose her money? Because a lot of people were afraid that Sam married her just for the money. And we're going to see throughout the cards how his energy looks. But the bottom line is that whatever she did, she has secured it, so most of her money is going to stay in her pocket. Now, Sam, on the other hand, is looking for a payday. Now, I can't say he got with her just for a payday. That could have been the case, but he definitely looking for one now. He definitely wants some type of support from Britney. I guess he feels like, based on this card, he feels like it's owed to him. And I don't know what the laws are in California, but I'm sure that there's some type of spousal support, but she's going to hold on to the majority of her fortune, guaranteed. The outcome card is the Nine of Swords in the upright. This is a sad situation for them both. They're definitely going to get divorced. I feel like it might take a little bit of time, but if you can look at this card, you see everything is just on fire. So they're both sad about it too. It's not like either one of them is like, you know, happy-go-lucky about the situation. They are both very sad about it, but it's just not working. So I'm really concerned about this last card because Britney's, remember I talked about her mental health. Well, Sam may be sad about this. It may hurt him. It may be depressing for him. But Sam is, for the most part, pretty much normal as far as his mental health is concerned. At least as far as what we know and we've seen of him. I haven't seen him have any like mad, crazy outbursts or anything like that. But we all know Britney's mental health has been very questionable and fragile throughout the years. So a major depression of this type, I feel as though is not the best thing. It's not the best thing for anybody, but especially not somebody who has issues with mental health. So I feel like this is going to be hard for Britney. People told me she did leave one post and she mentioned being hurting, being in pain before they even broke up. And I feel like it's going to be more of that until she finally does heal from it. So this looks like a very sad situation. Now let's take a look at these, right? Put these to the side. We got a lot of cards here because I really wanted to dig deep into this. Now, my next question was, what was Britney doing or not doing that caused this? We're going to look at both of them. What Britney was doing was she was out of balance. Remember I talked about the mental health aspect? Britney's behavior was just out of balance and he couldn't deal with it no more. I remember that Page of Wands being burnt out. He just couldn't deal with the imbalance anymore and the behavior. Apparently her behavior was really out of control. She suffers from a lot of self-doubt. And like all kinds of like feelings of like insecurity, they're saying here. So that was another thing that he was constantly having to deal with her. And if your partner has, you know, any kind of issues like that, we all have to deal with that. But I think that for him, it probably was really severe because of her mental health state. The pregnancy. Everybody knows that Britney lost a baby. I remember when she first posted that she was pregnant. Well, apparently this was a problem with Sam. They said here that it was an unplanned pregnancy. So maybe she wanted the baby. Maybe she planned for the baby. Let me move this out the way. There we go. But that was not the way he was looking at it. So this was a pregnancy that not only didn't come to fruition, it was something that he wasn't very sure about from the beginning. Now, what did Sam do that contributed to this breakup? He basically felt like he was waiting too long. Britney promised him that things would change and she would get better. You know how it is, you know, when you have an issue of any kind. Well, Britney promised, I know a friend of mine is going through this right now. His girlfriend promised him that she would stop smoking and she's still smoking. Okay. So it was that kind of thing. It's like he was waiting for her to make these changes, these mental health changes, and, you know, for things between them to get calm and, you know, going. Sam wants them to live like a nice little calm, peaceful life. And that's not what he's getting in this relationship. And he's not going to get it, not as long as this is going on. So I understand why he eventually gave up, because he basically waited too long. And he wasn't speaking up. He was not speaking up. He needed to speak up with her. He needed to speak up for himself. It's basically he was letting her do whatever she wanted to do, which makes perfect sense because she had been controlled her whole life, and he often said that he wanted her to, you know, learn how to do things. And I've heard him in interviews talking about how he felt as though she's always being controlled and he didn't want to be one of those people that was controlling her. So I feel like he was just kind of letting her do whatever she wanted to do and not speaking up until it was basically too late, waiting too long. And things would get out of proportion at that point. If your partner has issues, it's not controlling to point out to them what's going wrong, what they're even doing wrong. I'm not talking about sitting around constantly criticizing them, but letting them do things that's going to be bad for them is also not good. So some conversation needed to be had, and he wasn't having enough of that. He also had a third party situation going on. So he was talking to another person, either sleeping with another person or still emotionally, spiritually, mentally engaged with another person. So there was another person coming up here as well. And we're going to see more about that in later cards. So as you can see, like with any other relationship, they both had a hand to play in the relationship not working out. Now let's take a look and how Britney feels about this. Britney is missing Sam. Right there. I miss you. I wish things were different. So she really doesn't like the way that things are, but he made a decision. She plans to contact him. She plans to talk to him. Interesting. So the lines of communication are not completely done yet. She said that he was her fantasy. That she has pictures of them and videos, and that's probably a large part of what makes her still want him, because we all know when you have those kind of things and you're still looking at them, it makes you crave the other person. That's why when I stop seeing somebody, that kind of stuff, I don't look at it no more. But she still is, and she still misses him and has not let his energy go. But that makes perfect sense because, mind you, they just broke up. And what's going on with him? Sometimes he thinks about just calling her and running away with her. So as you guys can see, this relationship isn't done. You ever break up with somebody and y'all still keep messing with each other a little bit? Like y'all still talk to each other here and there, or y'all still hook up here and there. It's that kind of thing. It's not done, you know. The emotions, the feelings, all that kind of stuff. And that makes sense because it just happened. For some reason, even though he's the one with the third party situation, he feels like Britney's messing with somebody else. He feels like she's been messing with somebody else. I don't understand this part because he's the one with the third party situation. And that somebody is one of his exes. So Sam is still attached to one of his exes, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And we talked about that third party. That's his ex. So it's interesting to me how he's the one that has a third party, but he's worried about her. Very interesting. Alright, what else do we get for Britney? Britney is wondering, is it truly over? Because they've had ups and downs, you know, and couples, you know, they go through things, you know. And he's the one that filed, not her. So she's wondering, is it really over? Can they reconcile? So again, I told you, this couple is not completely finished. She feels like this is overwhelming to her, like she cannot do this right now. And I'm like, well, girlfriend, guess what? It's happening, so you're going to have to do it. And she has regrets. So she does know that there's things that she could have handled differently. And I think as the days turn into weeks, she's going to be reevaluating that more. This couple is not done. This couple can go either way. They can either not get back together ever again, or they can give this another try. Because we all know when the energy is like this, this is not over. Now, on his side, he feels like this is all too much. Like this has been a roller coaster ride. This has been really crazy to Sam. Sam is just like, what did I sign? Like, what did I sign up for here? He misses the sex with her. That was apparently one of the big draws between the two of them. And it's been crazy. The love has been crazy. And the rest of us looking at it from the outside in have been saying exactly the same thing. You know, it was a whirlwind romance. He's, I think, like 20 years younger than her. I think she was 40 and he was 23 or something like that. I mean, it's a big age difference. So it is crazy and it is wild. And he was stepping into a situation that already had a lot of issues. Now, Britney thinks that he's a wild card. So she thinks this can go either way. So she's pretty much like, you know, like I just got finished saying, how she's not sure if this is over. Because she thinks that he's a wild card. So it could be over. And it could not be. So she's not really certain about that whole thing. She's very confused. And I mentioned that earlier. That Ace of Swords reversed. So it's like a confusion. Like, is this really over? Should I keep seeing this person? He filed for divorce. Did he really mean it? So she's going back and forth all over the place with those kind of concepts. And let's see what he's thinking about. He's feeling like there's something missing. Like the relationship is missing something. And part of that, remember we said that she made promises to him that she didn't keep. And that's one of the things that's really bothering him. And it's keeping him from being able to be fully happy with her. So as time progressed, they spent less and less quality time together because he, she, them, began to pull back, began to pull the energy away. And the relationship became robotic. So it wasn't as feeling anymore. I think the sex might have been the best part at that point. But this makes sense to me because they kept saying that they kept saying that Sam was spending a lot of time away from the house, working and doing things like that. So Britney wasn't working. We see her on Instagram dancing around in little underwear, and he's, working. So they weren't spending that quality time, and they grew further and further apart. So, to wrap it up, Britney is thinking right now that maybe he was finessing her, lying to her, cheating, doing things like that. She started to think he was playing with her heart and playing her for a fool. And this is really sad. Remember I talked about that depression and stuff like that. And also, she feels like he is definitely not the one. I can agree with her on that. He was cheating. That third party card did come up. He's definitely not the one. I agree. His biggest thing was the sex. That's just lust. And I just think that he wanted to have sex and have a good time with a fun pop star. And he got with her, and it was more than he bargained for. He doesn't feel like Britney takes accountability for her behavior and for her actions. Which makes sense to me. I don't disagree with him. He thinks that some of her behavior is unproductive, destructive kind of behavior. We've all seen it. We've all seen it on Instagram. So he's not feeling that aspect of it. And so I can give him that, and if you think about the cards, both of them make some really good points. He wanted her to be a partner. He wanted her to compromise with him. And he felt like he was giving too much of himself, to try to make her happy. And she still wasn't happy. So I think that I can't really blame the situation on one of them or the other one. They both had a hand to play in it, as we have seen throughout these cards. So what's the bottom line here? The bottom line is that they had a lot of issues. There was some infidelity going on. And it looks like to me there's going to be some back and forth between the two of them before it's finally over. Don't be surprised if they're seen creeping. Don't be surprised at all. And then it's going to fizzle out. This is going to end anyway, but I just think that they're not quite done with it yet. And whatever monies he's seeking, he might get some money, but he's not going to get a lot of money. He might get a little something. Somebody told me that she had a prenup. So 9 times out of 10, whatever he gets is going to be a drop in the bucket. She's going to keep the majority of it. So I would say this is a very sad situation. But honestly, I don't think Britney's mental health is good enough right now for her to be in something so serious as a marriage. And a lot of people are like, well, let Britney do whatever she wants. I think that Britney's mental health is really problematic. And before we, rah-rah to free Britney, because she's already free, mind you. But before we rah-rah to free Britney, I think we all need to remember she might need some help. Yeah, And I think that's what a lot of us are forgetting. Yeah, free her, let her make her own decisions, but she might need some help. Because as we can see, there's a lot of, imbalance going on. And it doesn't sound like she's always listening to those who are trying to help her. So we all gotta just hope for the best for Miss Britney and Sam. So I'm pretty sure they'll come to some kind of reasonable conclusion, and this will pretty much be over. So, another one bites the dust. Rest in peace, relationship of Britney and Sam. Alright, you guys, you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.